This may be an unpopular opinion, but you can make the best burgers in the world, but if you have the worst hamburger buns, then it will just ruin the entire dish. So, let me show you how to make good hamburger buns. So let's talk ingredients. Now the first thing I have here is one large egg, and then I'm gonna use 42 grams of room temperature butter or 3 tablespoons. Make sure it's soft. 7 grams of active dry yeast, 35 grams of sugar, white is perfect, 210 grams of warm whole milk. You can use water if you want, but whole milk will make the bread richer, and 350 grams of bread flour. Now, I am also using 7 grams of salt, but I don't have it here for some reason. Now, talking about milk, I have milk around 95 degrees because that's the best temperature for yeast to bloom at. You don't want it colder because it won't activate, and you don't want it much warmer because it will kill the yeast if it's too hot. Now, to that milk, add the yeast and the sugar. The sugar will help feed the yeast, and then just give that a stir, make sure everything's dissolved. And then just go ahead and leave that for about 10 minutes just to let it bloom. And as you can see here, it's nice and foamy after 10 minutes. So let's move on. I'm cracking an egg into a bowl and I'm just gonna whisk that up. You can do it in the milk and yeast mixture, but I'm just doing it here to show you guys that, I'm whisking it up. But once I have it whisked up like this and everything is mixed up, no whites and yolk separately, I'm gonna dump it into the yeast mixture and give it another stir to make sure it's all homogeneous or all into one mixture. Now you can definitely do this by hand, but I'm gonna use a stand mixer. So to the bowl of my stand mixer, I'm dumping in all of my flour and then that 7 grams of salt I talked about earlier. And I'm just gonna give this a stir through, make sure that all the salt is mixed into the flour. And once it is mixed through, I'm gonna slowly stream in my liquids and just let it mix in my flour. And I'm streaming in slowly like this so that it can get evenly mixed through. Now, you might not have to do this step, but I had to stop the machine and just scrape down all the flour that's on the side of the bowl into the wet ingredients in the middle. But you might want to do this often throughout the process to make sure everything is mixed through and that there's no dry bits in your mixer. So once I have it stirred through and pulled all the flour into the middle, I'm gonna go ahead and start my mixer again on around 5 to 6 speed so that it can bring this dough ball together. And I'm just gonna bring it just when it comes into together, and it should be slightly tacky right now. And then I'm gonna let it rest for 10 minutes so that it can autolyse, which is just letting the flour soak up the liquids and hydrate. Now, after 10 minutes, I'm gonna come back and check on it, and now it should be super elastic. More elastic than you left it before. This is a good sign that you have rested the dough. And now this is when I turn my mixer back on and mix it on 5 to 6 speed for about 5 minutes. I want this dough ball to come together and mix it until it's nice and smooth. See, now the dough ball should look something like this, slightly tacky but not too tacky. And this is when I want to start adding in my butter. I'm gonna add my butter in a tablespoon at a time and then mix that. And once the butter is mixed through, add another tablespoon, mix it, add another, mix it. Do this until all the butter is mixed through, and then knead it until it comes into a cohesive ball again and a smooth ball again. Take it out and get it on a work surface and give it a few kneads. Now you don't want to over knead this at this point because it's already well kneaded by the machine. You just want to knead it a little bit until it's smooth and it can come into a ball. That's it. Try not to add any excess flour because you will dry out the dough if you do. And once it gets nice and smooth, I'm gonna go ahead and form it into a ball. And the way I like doing that is by pulling the dough ball under and towards itself just to get that nice taut outer layer. And sometimes I like using the table to push the dough ball against it. Just do whatever you can to get the ball nice and taut. And you formed it well when it looks nice and smooth like this, and when you poke it, it bounces back a little bit, just like that. And now get it into some sort of container or a bowl And you're gonna let it proof for about 45 minutes to an hour depending on how warm your kitchen is. Make sure you have a container that you can cover with a lid or cover the bowl with a saran wrap or a wet towel. For me, about 45 minutes later, my dough has doubled in size. And that's a perfect indicator to tell you that your dough has been well proofed. Now, right about now, you should knock the air out of the dough before taking it out, but I forgot to, so I'll do it later. However, I'm gonna go ahead and divide my dough into 6 balls. Now, you don't have to weigh them out, but I like to because it gives me even sized balls and they'll be similar in size. But you can totally eyeball it and still get great results. I'm just a little perfectionist, that's all. But if you're gonna weigh them, go for 112 grams each ball. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock the air out of the dough now since I didn't do it earlier. But once I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and form these into a ball. And to do that, I'm just gonna take the outsides and pull it into the middle. And I'm gonna get it nice and taut like I did the first time when I formed the ball. And I'm just gonna keep doing it until I can't pull it in anymore. And I'm gonna flip it over and using my pinky, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck the ball under and towards itself, just like the first time I did this. And I'm using my pinky and just getting right under it and pulling it against the table. And I'm just gonna do this until it gets nice and taut, and when you poke it, it bounces back again, like the first time. So once I have those done, I'm gonna go ahead and get this on a parchment lined baking sheet. Just space these out about 1.5 to 2 inches apart. Now I'm gonna press these down with my hands nice and flat to get them proof wider rather than taller. But if you don't care about that, then you don't have to do it. And now I'm gonna cover this with another baking sheet, but you can loosely cover it with some saran wrap and that'll be fine. Let it proof for 45 minutes to an hour, and this should be roughly doubled in size. Now I'm gonna brush it with some egg wash. It's just 1 egg whipped up. Get a nice coating on it, make sure it's nice and even. If it's not, you're gonna get some dark spots, light spots. It's not gonna look nice, but it's still gonna taste good. Now I'm gonna bake these at 400 degrees for 10-15 minutes. 10 minutes if you want your buns to be lighter, 15 minutes if you want it darker, like these. Now they should be nice and squishy and golden brown and smell great. And once they do, it is time for the taste test. Dang, look at the color. Oh, it smells so good. It smells nice and toasted. It's very squishy and soft. Look, you can tell if you squish it down, it just bounces right back up. You know you made a great bun. And the height on this is perfect. It's perfectly round. It's like a great size for a burger. Not too big, not too small. So I'm not going to do a taste test for this recipe because I don't feel like just taking a bite out of the bun. However, I do have a burger recipe on my channel that I made in the past, and I use these same exact buns. So you can check it out there. It's great. Trust me, it's nice and soft like I said. So give this video a like down there. For more videos like this, hit that subscribe button or that button over there. And this one right here for my previous video, and I'll catch you on my next one. Thank you. Bye.